Black World Travel is a travel company for those interested in seeing the world in color. Who am I? I'm Chandra Charisse, lead explorer and founder of Black World Travel. Thank you for selecting this podcast to listen to. This is a passion project, and it's something that I ventured on literally a few days ago, in which I was having a discussion with some friends of mine, and they said, Chandra, you really should do a podcast. Uh, I guess it could be a YouTube channel, but I'm not about that looking good for the camera all the time life. So I did not decide to do a YouTube channel. So this is why the podcast is something that is also convenient for me and convenient for my guests, because they're not necessarily in this country. And through this medium, I'm able to connect them to you all and get a whole bunch of questions and stuff answered, and hopefully inspire you to go and visit either that country or have a different experience in another city or state or something. I'm well aware that there are quite a few people who don't travel much outside of their own town. And it is my hope that I change that. I know that there are plenty of other travel groups and organizations which you can follow and listen to, and which you have been. And they've been doing a wonderful job laying a foundation for new people to come. But for me, this is just a little bit different because I started Black Will Travel under slightly different circumstances. So let me explain. A few years ago, I started a travel agency, and it came out of necessity. So I had to take care of somebody, and I could no longer be the forefront of all my event business ideas and things I was doing, even though I still do it a little bit now. It wasn't something that I could put my whole heart into anymore. And so here comes travel. What I started as an extension of my event business, because I just loved being able to plan honeymoons and vacations for people. And I had been doing it for my family for years, that I said, okay, well, let's see how we can actually make this a revenue stream. When I started that, I didn't think that it would bring me this far and that I would end up starting a whole nother travel company. And the reason I did that was because in dealing with people with my regular travel agency, I noticed that many of them were, number one, shocked that I was Black, and number two, shocked that I was well versed in all of the places that I had been discussing with them for their vacations or private getaway or what have you. So I happened to be speaking to my mom one day, and I was like, telling her, I was like, I'm getting super annoyed because I guess people don't realize that Black people will travel. I should make that a t-shirt. And she said, you absolutely should. And you should make it a bag and a purse and et cetera, et cetera. And from that, I was just like, okay, maybe this isn't just a thing. I know that there are other larger groups. Shout out to Travel Noir. I know they exist, and they started off as one thing, just inspiration and a blog, to lead on to other things, to now doing travel groups. But I was missing the element of not only traveling while being Black and or brown, because it's just, uh, you don't have to be Black or brown to use Black Will Travel. Let me specify that. But it wasn't an issue of doing that. It was the fact that here we are traveling to all these places, Greece and Spain, and wanting to go to Europe. And very few of us say, oh, I want to go to Africa on vacation. Or when we go to these places, we never look to see what was the contribution of brown and Black people to that history or that Colosseum or that castle or wherever it is that we're going to see. So there was a little bit of a history component to that. So not only am I trying to say Black people will travel, brown people included, just people in general, but I'm just saying. But I'm also trying to say not only will we travel, but there are places that are known famously which have a little bit of history that shows how people of color have contributed to those places. So from all of that, became Black Will Travel. Okay, so the Green Book was another part of my inspiration. Everybody sees it now because it's become like the token thing to post up when you're on Instagram or Twitter about Black travel. But very few people have actually owned or looked in the book to see the places that people of color were able to go and stay because people opened up lodging to them. That amazed me that it wasn't just stateside. There were other countries listed there, such as Mexico and the Bahamas and Canada. Like, who knew that? That this book didn't just say where it was safe for people of color to travel within the United States. It said where it was safe for people to travel practically anywhere. I thought that was simply amazing. And then I was like, okay, so what if I take this same concept and make it so that yes, you were getting services from someone of color, but I can put a little bit of a twist on where it is that you're going so that you can have some cultural significance as it relates to you. Why not? And for those people who are just interested in learning more about people of color, I can educate them as well. So that was my hope and is my hope with this company and why it was formed. It's my hope that this podcast helps to inspire, educate, and uplift people so that they have a desire to travel outside of their normal surroundings. It doesn't have to be around the world necessarily. It could just be to another state. But I at least want people to take the opportunity to do so. Yes, I know it's so expensive. I don't know how I can do it. Or, man, I'm not sure. I'm scared of getting on a plane. I've never been on a plane before. I don't want to travel by myself. My friends don't ever want to go when I want to go. Listen, if you don't take the opportunity to step out on faith and do it yourself and try, I mean, who else is going to set an example for all the people that don't want to go with you or who aren't available to go with you? All it takes is a little bit of planning and a little bit of time, and you can go more places than you would expect. Okay, so more about my background. I'm an Army brat. I've had the opportunity to live in various places throughout the United States, Europe, and Asia. And those experiences shaped me, I think, for this easy transition into travel. When you're living there and you're going through everything, you don't seem to respect it as much until you start to be around others who have not gotten to do those things. And also, it shaped how I treat people. Travel shaped how I treat people. Granted, my parents laid the foundation because they always said not to treat someone with any type of disrespect because you just never know. You never know what they're going through. You never know what they need, and you may be that comfort to them. I mean, even to this day, they'll still talk to random strangers or try to help somebody random. And it's not unlike me to get a phone call. Hey, I met this girl at the mall who's starting this career and she might need some help on her resume, or she may need this or that. So travel helped to build that cultural connect between being human and humanity for me. Then I realized that when I was so upset that I had to go overseas after a freshman year in college for the whole summer, I didn't respect the opportunity that was being presented to me at the time. Like, it's pretty amazing to say that you went somewhere and you stayed there and taught English for a summer. Like, people don't just get to do that anymore. From from that experience itself, the respect again came later. So when I look at travel, I look at it as a way to connect people to other people with various differences, and to also educate people on how to deal with others, because just because something occurs or works one way in your culture does not mean it's the same in the other. So, Black will travel. Why that term? Besides what I told you, there is a misconception that Black people don't travel. Yeah, we see all the pictures and stuff, and people Instagram stunting and Twitter stunting and Facebook stunting. Oh, we see it, yes. But there is still a whole slew of people who do not travel and who need to travel. And there's still the assumption that we don't travel enough. And we, being Black people, people of color, if it's outside of where we're from, it's just something we don't do. That's just not the case. You don't have to be in the military to travel. You don't have to be with an affluent family to travel. All you need to do is have the desire to want to travel and the ability to travel. The number one reason that I found that people don't seem to travel isn't even the financial aspect, because you can save to do that. Just a little here and there. Leave eating out all the time alone. Be able to be flexible, and you can get some last minute great deals. And you do not have to put yourself in debt to travel. But the number one reason is fear. It's always fear. What if I can't figure it out when I get there? What if I don't know what I'm doing? What if I'm going by myself? I mean, let me just tell you, I will touch about solo travel because it happens more often than not. And once you do it one time, it's sort of like you get bit by the bug, because you get to travel by yourself and you don't have to answer to anybody. I'll also do group travel, be it with groups of people you know and don't know. Not all group travel is the same. So don't think that. Don't think you have to be all bust in things. We do a lot of small groups where it's like 12 or less people. And with those small groups, it gets you great deal on airfare when they're all coming out of the same airport. And then also, I'm dealing directly with suppliers in various countries. Yes, I do have travel partners that are all over and huge, and everybody uses them that owns an agency. Yes. But I also have those people that I made a personal connection with and enjoyed their business and experiencing them, and I just want to give them business. And they're willing to work with me to alter what it is that they offer to my clients based on the principles of what I've set forth for Black Will Travel. And because of that, I am honored, because they could have easily told me no, but they didn't. But that offers you all an experience that you wouldn't normally get. And that can come in a group. Let's say you're a solo traveler and you need to travel with a group because it's cheaper if you have double occupancy, which is the case 90% of the time. Then, no problem. We'll be able to put you in a group with someone, same sex preferably, in a room, and you all can still have your own space and you could still travel, and that way you don't feel like you're alone. Am I just going to have buses and buses of people on these large tour buses doing stuff? Absolutely not. I don't think that you can get the full experience of where you are when you are on large buses like that. It's just for pictures and to get in and out. So whenever I can help it and based on your experience, I'll adjust it so. But know that the people I work with, they are so like in awe that I'm doing this. And for them, it seems new. And I think that's really cool because they are from all backgrounds and nationalities, and they're willing to just take the simple concept and help me to build it the way that I'd like to build it and make sure that everything goes flawlessly so that my clients and those people interested are comfortable. Now, when you do a podcast, this talking to myself thing, I mean, everybody does it in their head every once in a while, but this is so brand new to me that I'm just sitting and having a full conversation. So if my thoughts are all over the place, just know that that's really the process that I'm going through, trying to convey everything at once for this opening podcast. I'm super excited. I'm, I just, I have so much in store. And I just hope that you all enjoy it as much as I will. Because I know I love to talk. I really do. But I love even more talking when I know that people are engaged and listening. This podcast will go up every Tuesday, hashtag Traveling Tuesday. I'd love it if you all would let me know that you heard the podcast and follow me on all of my social media. Instagram is at Black Will Travel. Twitter is at BLK Will Travel. Facebook is Black Will Travel. And that's about it. Oh, also you can follow me at Livewire99 on Twitter. Outside of that, I think we are good to go. So if you have any questions or you would like for me to talk about specific topics, then just send me an email at in@blackwilltravel.com. That's in@blackwilltravel.com. And you may also hashtag blackwilltravel, and I will take a look at all your questions. Thank you for taking the opportunity to listen to me. And let me leave you with this quote that I was just quoted on bankrate.com. Be afraid and do it anyway, because it is how you work through it that you become successful in moving forward. BWT out.
The podcast you just heard was made using